Good evening. Critical, but most importantly, alive. South Australia's most iconic footballer has cheated death after the cattle truck he was driving crashed on a wet and windy road near Victor Harbour.
Tonight, the life-saving heroics of a humble great-grandmother. At the time, she didn't realise who he was, but refused to leave his side.
From Flinders Medical Centre to West Lakes and the city, our reporters are standing by on what's been a 24 hours the football world is still struggling to comprehend.
In the footy world, he was a messiah, known affectionately as Godra. Modra! But last night, Tony Modra had a higher power on his side.
I wish him well. It's terrible. Poor thing.
The 57-year-old was driving this cattle truck through Back Valley around 5 when, in a freak accident, a massive tree branch struck his windscreen.
Something's happened with the tree, whether it's already fallen on the road and he's hit it or it's come down as he's coming past, and then he's ended up on the other side of the road.
Great-grandmother Linda Cameron was travelling just a few minutes behind him and saw the horrific scene.
I pulled over, just left the lights on, ran down. I saw this man really not well, holding his face.
Did you realise who he was?
No.
Right. So
he was just a man who was in trouble and it was bleeding really badly.
As they waited for help to arrive, she says he was conscious but unable to speak.
I held his hand and I made him squeeze my hand. I probably squeezed the blood out of his hand, poor thing, but I kept saying, hold on tight, hold on tight.
Inside his truck, she could hear a voice. Tony's wife, Erica, was still on the phone, begging for answers, having heard the collision.
She was yelling. She was obviously very distraught, as you would be.
This morning, though, she had the update, read by one of his best mates.
She said he's going all right. It's pretty amazing that he's got through it. She said to me just before, he's not going to be the same good-looking Tony Modra. He's going to have some scars.
The Crows legend had been stabilised at Victor Harbour Hospital before being rushed to Flinders Medical Centre, where he remains in a critical but stable condition.
It's such a freak accident. You can't control that. It's got nothing to do with how you drive, how safe you are. It's just a grave coincidence.
The thoughts and prayers of every South Australian is with Mods and his family, and hopes he's able to pull through this. I don't think you have to be just a Crows fan to be a fan of Tony Modra.
The terrible news hit footy fans during last night's coverage.
Tony Modra has suffered life-threatening injuries,
rocking his club in the West as well.
It's pretty fresh for me, like it is for everyone. Obviously big part of the Freo family, and all I can say is I wish him and his family well.
Following his high-flying career, Modra had found a quieter life down south, spending the last 2 decades running cattle.
A bit less stressful, I guess. No, it's a good life.
Yesterday, he'd taken dozens of cows to the southeast and was on his way home, but never made it.
He could be sitting in some sort of swanky place, making money out of his footy career, but he's just so humble and obviously loves agriculture, so that's what he enjoys doing.
But there's no denying footy was his first love, and it's those supporters, no matter their colours, that are behind him for what is no doubt going to be a long road ahead.
He'll recover. I have absolutely no doubt. You know, he's tough. He's tough. Comes from a tough family too, and he's got great support with Erica and the kids.
Kimberly Pratt, 7 News.
And Deanna Williams is at Flinders Medical Centre. Dee, the Crows great will likely be there for weeks.
Well, Tony Modra suffered serious facial injuries and there are some concerns for his left eye. He's currently being treated in the intensive care unit here at Flinders and will have to undergo extensive surgery. But there is some good news. 7 News understands those closest to him are quietly confident he's escaped any serious long-term brain injury. There is a long road ahead, though, no one's denying that. But anyone who knows Godra knows he's not a quitter and he's just as tough off the field as he is on it. Rosanna.
All right, thank you, Dee. Now to Josh Money at the club where the Modra legend was born. Josh, this has sent shockwaves through the Crows.
Yeah, and right around the footy world, Rosanna, Tony Modra is a name synonymous with the Adelaide Crows. And so last night's accident has been felt right through the club. Players and staff arrived today with one of their most important figures front of mind, and that's on the eve of one of their most important games of the season. Indeed, it's hard to think of a more recognisable AFL player to have come from South Australia. An ultra-talented, high-flying forward, a larrikin, a heartthrob, an icon. Tonight, he has the collective thoughts of the club, its fans and the broader football community right behind him.
A living legend. Footy's last true rock star.
Then he'd stay out overnight. Things were a little bit different back then. And, 12 hours later, he's kicked 13 goals on the fullback of the century.
Well, I think when you think about the Adelaide Crows, Tony's name's one that comes to mind. We all have different roles at a football club, but his role was to entertain.
A born goal kicker, in just his second season, Modra booted 129, but it was his marking prowess that stood head and shoulders above all else.
I used to watch Tony take hangers every week, and he's some sort of player.
I think all our memories, for me in particular, of growing up was, if he took a hanger, it was Modra. So he's had a massive impact on the community.
That community reminiscing today.
What did you love about him?
The high marks he used to do.
He was the heartthrob, he was the stud. So he was just the complete package, I think.
The lovable larrikin still is. And so he has many disciples, like superfan Helen Moroney in Goolwa.
I've got a photo of myself and Tony the day I had my head shaved, and him in his younger days, which is pretty special, good-looking guy that he was.
The modern-day Crows arrived for training this morning with Godra in their prayers.
Yeah, I used to watch Mods as a kid. I only just saw him the other night at the Hall of Fame dinner and function. So, great at the footy club, a great at South Australian football community, and wishing him and the family all the best.
His old teammates reflecting on the good times.
To put him alongside Sir Donald Bradman and talk very comfortably about that impact. We always used to wait in the change rooms by the door, and we'd all wait for Mods to walk out, and he'd get mobbed by 40 people, and we could all walk to our car quite comfortably.
Now the footy community is rallying around the superstar once more.
Get well soon, mate. We all love you. All us Crow supporters are right behind you and your family, and we pray to God that you do pull through.
Josh Money, 7 News.
Michaela Kamaric is at Adelaide Oval. Michaela, tomorrow's clash between the Crows and Demons will be about more than just football.
Well, fittingly, it's emergency services round, a chance for the club and fans to acknowledge the critical work that first responders do in our community. In fact, Tony Modra's wife, Erica, has singled them out for praise after their heroics at the scene of last night's crash. And his presence will be missed tomorrow, whether he's hanging out in the rooms or mixing with the fans. The 57-year-old is a larger-than-life presence on game days.